Welcome everybody to the information session on the Coronavirus Relief Funds for Public Universities. I am Lisa Outlaw, Internal Audit Director for NC Pro. And as Barbara Baldwin promised in her session on May 29, 2020, the NC Pro office would provide a follow-up presentation on the reporting requirements. And therefore, the topic of this presentation will cover requirements required for public universities, reporting requirements required for public universities. Now, let's go over some housekeeping items. Everyone's mic is muted. If you have questions during the presentation, you can use the chat feature to enter your questions, and we will work to address some of those questions during our presentation. If we cannot get to all of the questions, we will place an updated FAQ on our website after the presentation to address your remaining questions. Also, the slides will be placed on our NC Pro website along with a recording of this presentation. So please note that this presentation is being recorded. So on June 26th, I sent emails to all of you to communicate your university's unique download link and upload link. Please retain this email for future reference. You will need to use these two links to send and receive information to and from the NC Pro office. Because each link provided is specific to your university, you should only share these links with your subrecipients. If you did not receive your upload and download link, please send an email to lisa.outlaw@osbm.nc.gov. Within the subject of your email, write that you need an upload and download link. Within the body of the email, provide the name of your university. I will send you your secure links. Please do not email your documentation to me or any other NC Pro email directly. Email transmission is not secure. However, the links provided to you will allow you to securely transmit information to NC Pro. Which leads me to explain the NC Pro expenditure reporting process. This statewide monitoring effort will involve over 400 individual entities, including public, nonprofit, and private. Therefore, please note that the reporting templates and instructions I am about to discuss are designed to cover the greatest number of recipients. Therefore, you may find references to a contract or references to a reimbursement process. Please disregard those words if it does not apply to your entity. So for the universities, the word contract would not apply to you because you received your funds in advance, or reimbursement would not apply to you because those funds were not received directly from NC Pro and asked to be given in a reimbursement process, given back via a reimbursement process. So NC Pro created 8 easy steps to follow to receive your coronavirus relief funds allotment and report on those use of funds. Steps 5 through 8 are the only steps relevant to the universities. Steps 1 through 4 are applicable to nonprofits and hospitals. So I will only cover steps 5 through 8 within this presentation. In step 5, NC Pro transferred funds to the UNC Systems Office, and in turn, the UNC Systems Office either transferred already or will transfer the funds to the universities. In step 6, NC Pro requires the universities and their subrecipients to send proof of the use of funds to NC Pro on a monthly basis. In step 7, NC Pro requires you to submit your final report of accomplishments to NC Pro using attachment F and use all funds or return unspent funds to NC Pro after the closeout period. In step 8, NC Pro requires you to comply with NC Pro audit requests throughout the process to fulfill federal and state audit requirements. Now, NC Pro utilizes 12 documents within its reporting process. The universities and the university subrecipients are only required to submit 3 of the 12 documents. When you use the download link to access your documents, you will note that we provided you with a long file name that contains numbers at the beginning of each document. Please do not rename these documents when completing these forms. We have purposely named each document to make it easier for our data collection tool to process your information quickly and seamlessly. If you rename the document, this will make it difficult for NC Pro to track submissions from your university. So we will cover these documents in detail in the next few slides. For tracking purposes, the NC Pro office assigned each university receiving funds with an agreement number. This number corresponds with the same number assigned to the public university allotments in Session Law 2020-4. Be sure to include your agreement number within the file name of all documents submitted to NC Pro. The agreement number is the number assigned to your university for tracking purposes. When your university further distributes funds to other subrecipients, they must also include your agreement number on the file submitted to NC Pro. Now, if a university decides to further distribute the funds to subrecipients, it will be important to know the difference between a subrecipient versus a contractor. Therefore, I will briefly cover this topic because subrecipients are required to submit the same attachments to NC Pro as the universities. A subrecipient may determine who may be eligible to receive assistance under the coronavirus relief funds. A subrecipient's performance is measured based on program objectives. A subrecipient is responsible for making decisions about the program. A subrecipient is responsible for complying with program requirements, and a subrecipient uses the coronavirus relief funds to carry out a program for a public purpose, as opposed to providing goods or services for the benefit of the university. A contractor provides goods and services within its normal business operations and provides similar goods or services to many different purchasers. A contractor normally operates in a competitive environment and provides goods or services that are necessary to the primary activities of the university. A perfect example of a contractor in this scenario is a supplier of personal protective equipment. A contractor is not subject to the compliance requirements of the federal or state program, which is the CARES Act or Session Law 2020-4 or 2020-4. Although similar requirements may apply to these same contractors for other reasons. Since you may have a subrecipient relationship with other entities, those entities are also responsible for submitting attachments C-1, C-2, and attachment F to NC Pro. As stated previously, the entities will be responsible for submitting the documentation using the university's assigned agreement number with a sequentially assigned unique identifier appended to the end of the agreement number for tracking purposes. See an example of a unique identifier for 3 subrecipients. If your agreement number is 20-01 and you have 3 subrecipients, your agreement number is in yellow and the unique identifier you would assign to the 3 subrecipients are in blue. Be sure your subrecipients include their unique identifier within the file name of all documents submitted to NC Pro for tracking purposes, and make sure this number is on the beginning of the file name. Without this number, it will be difficult for our office to locate your monthly expenditure documentation. You should share your upload and download links, the email that I provided to you, with your subrecipients to ensure they use the correct links to send and receive information to and from NC Pro. Attachment C-1 requests you provide a descriptive summary of how the coronavirus relief funds were used and any deliverables or progress made against objectives and expected outcomes. In summary, this document should provide a narrative that explains your actual accomplishments to assist NC Pro with demonstrating how your university used the funds to help North Carolina recover from this pandemic. Attachment C2 is a monthly report of expenditures by cost category. I will briefly explain the cost categories in this report to give you an example of the detailed expenditure information required by NC Pro on a monthly basis. However, it is preferred that you extract this same information from your accounting system into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. So that means for the public universities, I know the majority of you are on Banner, and NC State may be on PeopleSoft, and there may be some other accounting system. We would like for you to either locate a monthly expenditure report that could satisfy the requirements that we're looking for, or work with your IT staff to extract the information from your accounting system to help upload and fulfill your monthly expenditure reporting process. This should make the expenditure reporting process more simple and easy for you. If it does not, you're always welcome to utilize the spreadsheets that we provided and key in the information. So the cost categories are as follows. We are asking for any employee expenses. That would be payroll of different personnel that was dedicated to COVID relief efforts. They would be subject to the substantially dedicated provisions that are listed in the FAQs. Contractor labor expenses, other service expenses, subcontract expenses, such as for construction or maintenance or, social distancing. Good expenses. If you had to purchase supplies of personal protective equipment, that would fall in that category. Equipment expenses, that may be where all of your e-learning equipment may be recorded, so that you can have distant learning. And other expenses. In addition to the 7 cost category, this form requests detailed information about each expenditure as follows. So we would like the date the expenditure occurred, the name of the employee or vendor or contractor that was paid, the unique ID used to identify the employee, vendor, or contractor, the description of a service rendered or goods purchased, the monthly hours worked, or even leave hours that were COVID related by an employee, or the total invoice amount, the actual hours dedicated to COVID efforts by the same employee, or the invoice quantity or amount that is related to COVID expenditures, or the number of students served. Even though we might say patient served, you can change that to student served if it's more relevant for the university environment. The reason why we're asking for the employee hours is because we need to understand on a monthly basis what the employee is required to work versus what they actually worked for COVID, to see if you exceeded the 50% requirement for substantially dedicated. Please make sure your expenditure information is submitted using the supplied form or in a Microsoft Excel format so that we can easily consume your data into our data collection tools. Your monthly detailed expenditure reports are due by the following dates: July 20th, August 20th, September 21st, October 20th, November 20th, December 21st, and January the 20th. These are your reports. Each report will include expenditures from the previous month. However, for this upcoming month in July, for the July 20th report, please include all coronavirus relief expenditures from March 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2020. Please include all expenditures that were also obligated on June 30th, 2020 within this report, and the amount of unspent funds on hand at June 30th, 2020. This will help NC Pro communicate to the Office of Controller any unearned revenue at June 30th, 2020. Finally, to close out the reporting requirements, send attachment F to report your university's outcome and accomplishments. This final report should provide a narrative of what the university was able to accomplish with these funds. Please feel free to upload pictures of supply and equipment purchases or advancements in e-learning to help NC Pro communicate to others how your funds help North Carolina recover from this pandemic. If you submit pictures or images or brochures, make sure you use your agreement number so we will know who provided those pictures and we can use that within our final reports. This report, attachment F, should be submitted to NC Pro no later than January 31st, 2021. Now we will take questions from the chat. Samantha, do we have any questions?
Lisa, we had technical difficulty, and the chat did not come up for people to be able to put questions in.
Okay. All right. Well, if you do find that you wanted to submit a question, you are able to submit questions to us at ncpro@osbm.nc.gov. We will post those questions and our answers on our website, and we will also post this along with a recording of the presentation. We do thank you for attending this presentation, and again, if you have questions, please email us. Is there anyone on the presentation?
I can't hear you. Lisa, your mic is muted.
All right, if you have questions about this presentation, you may submit your questions via our email address to ncpro@osbm.nc.gov. If you have, and we will post those questions to our website along with this presentation. Is there anyone else who has any comments that they would like to make about this presentation or to the university community? Okay, well, thank you for attending.